Good morning. You're watching Morning at NTV. Time for us to take note. I was just reading a statement here. It says, using the power of entertainment to enrich the lives and unleash the potential of Africa's creative industries. Aye, multi-choice. Oh. We're talking about the Multi-Choice Talent Factory. Joining me from DSTV and Multi-Choice, Tina Wamala. You're not a stranger to this seat.
No.
Good morning.
You might as well just make me part of the crew.
I'm telling you, eh? Yes. And not a stranger to me, but maybe you're new to this show. It's
Yeah, it's my first time.
Erin Tamale, I've met you before.
Yeah.
He's a good MC.
Yes.
Yeah, rising.
Talented,
Yeah.
a
Rising.
multi-talented
Yes,
person.
multi-talented. And you are a Multi-Choice Talent Factory student,
Yeah.
which is what we're here to understand. But I think before we get into the Multi-Choice Talent Factory, even I have met you, I've seen you work, but I don't think I've actually profiled to get to know you. do you know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I
keep
know what you
seeing a
mean.
person, you just
Yeah.
keep bumping into a person where you work, but you never really sit down to understand who is this person, what do they do. And I say that because someone was saying to me the other day, you know, in our industry, you meet people and you say hi and you go by.
You go on,
You're on your life. One day they're asking you, oh, can you recommend someone to do ABCD? And you didn't know it was Erin who would have been talented to do that.
Absolutely.
So it's always good to ask questions and get to know each other. So, who are you?
Straight to it.
Well, my name is Erin J. Tomale. I was born a couple years ago.
Oh, you're giving us the whole
1994.
story.
Yeah, I've always been passionate about the media and getting to this point today. I've been working as a digital marketer, and also as a TV show host.
Okay.
And now we're getting into film and taking it very serious. And until in the movie of my life, I happened to receive a prophetic word that catapulted me to this position.
Okay.
So right now with the Multi-Choice Talent Factory, it's an experience that I'm yet to experience and get to see what's going to happen with it. Obviously, I'm very excited. Looking forward to learning from the industry professionals and yeah.
So, digital
Marketing.
marketer.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, is that something?
Social media.
Of course,
yeah.
of course. But then you are TV, then
Digital.
you are film. So which is which? Are you just keeping everything?
No, the goal is I want to be at the helm of the media industry.
Oh, okay.
That is what I've been called to do, to be an authority in the industry. So so I'm looking at myself as that person. When I look at film, I look at distribution, which is one of the biggest challenges that we have as filmmakers.
No
or
one
even
ever thinks of distribution.
yeah, no one ever thinks of distribution.
People
so
are more concerned of the acting, the front of the screen. Nobody cares about the business of the industry.
yeah.
Have you been in film for some time?
Well, apart from writing synopses of imaginary movies that I'm going to create, I hadn't yet. Yeah, but I've been doing a bit of a TV production. We created a show with my best friend. She's called Barbara Namudu. She's an amazing model, and it was called Bernie and Bernie. It celebrates golden friendship stories. So we're looking out for friends who inspire themselves to do better, to become better, inspire stories that impact society, and that is what film and the media is all about: telling stories. And for us, this was our beginning to produce a show like that, and also direct it and things like that. But now when Multi-Choice came in, we started looking at it in a broader aspect
of course.
of
It's a bigger platform.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago we discussed film and the film industry, and there was some good that was mentioned, but I think there was a lot of this industry, it's going nowhere. As much as we've come a long way, you're not making money, you know, and then there's no hopes of making money. So right before the platform of the Multi-Choice Talent Factory, I mean, what did you see in that space in this country in terms of film?
Well, it's an industry that, you know, they're independent filmmakers. Our film bodies in Uganda are not as strong.
Yeah.
Let me say the government is going to be supporting you quite a lot. So most of the people making film within the country are independent filmmakers, and they're always looking out for their own resources.
Because it's out of your pocket.
Yeah,
so
it's out of,
you
it's
might
out of
as
your
well.
pocket. So you're passionate about it. Most of the people in film are, oh, I'm a passionate actor, I'm a passionate actress. I don't care whether it gets me paid or
Yes,
not. I just
but
want
they
to
really
be, I
care.
want to make it on the big screen, you know.
Yeah.
But we've seen people like Nana Kaga, and you've worked with her.
She's brilliant.
And you see that you get to find that people like Nana, they will have, let me say, the budget to bring on.
Yeah, I was about to say, Nana will get funding,
Yeah,
but the people who are not able to have
Exactly.
funding.
And that is where the question of distribution comes from, that if we have no distribution channel, and we have a film festival within the country that is done with the Uganda
Communications Commission, yeah.
And you get to see that there are few entries, and even the entries that make it, let me say, they may not make it to the big stage. So what people nowadays are working on is that there is chemistry. Kemiondo Coutinho, she did this movie called Chemvu. It's a short movie, short film.
Yeah.
And you get to see that when she was premiering it, she had to take it outside Africa.
But also, you know, I feel like Kemi put in her own energy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think there was such a force to help her until, of course, she was somewhere. Then, you know, Ugandans, we are. Once you arrive, we arrive with you. Before you arrive, we don't know you much.
Yeah.
So, Tina, we've been talking about the Multi-Choice Talent Factory. Let's just, what that is. It's something new, definitely.
Absolutely.
Talk to us about that.
So Multi-Choice Talent Factory is a deliberate effort on the side of MultiChoice to make an impact in the film industry. Our belief is there's so much room to tell African stories.
Yes.
There's so much room for Africans to tell the African story the African way. And it's an untapped industry, an untapped area. We have actually taken it for granted over the years that there is so much the film industry can do, not just socio-economically, but in terms of culturally, in terms of livelihoods and everything. So we decided to launch Multi-Choice Talent Factory so that we can groom the next big Mariam Dagires of this world, the next big Matt Bishes of this world, so that we can get them when they're fairly fresh in the industry, fairly inexperienced in the industry, provide them with a whole year training, sponsorship by industry experts, not just from the region, but throughout the world. So the likes of Erin and his colleagues that are going to represent Uganda are going to be in the hands of the best in the film industry. They are going to be honed in all kinds of skills, from directing to producing to camera work to script writing. They're going to become a wholesome filmmaker at the end of this entire year. And our belief is, as a result of this training program that they're going to go through, they will come back to Uganda and tell the Ugandan story the way it's supposed to be told. Gone are the days when we are allowing foreigners to take our turf. I think there's no better person to tell your own story than you yourself. So we're going to give them the skills, because we believe one of the biggest challenges we've had, and he's been talking about challenges, is professionalism within our our
It's the reason why he's saying the bodies that are associations are not as strong as they should be.
Exactly.
It's because of that.
Yeah, professionalism is a very big problem in terms of the film industry and other industries as well. So we believe by introducing this program, we'll at least address the professionalism aspect. By the end of it, they'll be certified from Kenyatta University as well as MultiChoice, because they'll be in the hands of the best of the best.
So is this a Ugandan project, or wherever MultiChoice has footprints?
It's a pan-African project. What we've done is we've divided the academies, because we've set up academies in all regions of the continent. So we have an academy in West Africa, an academy in East Africa, which will be in Nairobi, Kenya, and then an academy in Southern Africa, which will be in Zambia. Now, in the academies, we're going to have up to 20 students taken on, accommodated, taken care of for the entire year, from their tuition to their accommodation, to the training and learning, etc. For Uganda, we have 4 students. Erin is representing them today, but we have 4 students from Uganda that are going to go into that academy and just go and take on the world.
Okay, so it's if they're sitting in Nairobi, that's 4 for each of the countries in the region?
No, it's 4 for Uganda, 4 for Tanzania, and then Ethiopia has 1 person, and then Kenya has the rest. Okay,
so this is not really per se a competition. So it's not saying that, you know, Erin must do better than the Ethiopian and must do better than the Tanzanian. It's just, let's learn.
Let's learn, let's learn from each other, let's get the exposure from the experts, let us be polished, because by the time they were selected and picked, there's something we saw in them.
I was about to say, how was the selection? What did you have to pitch something?
Yeah. we were seated in front of a panel.
Erin, you don't
people.
Seem very happy about this. Let's give you a platform.
It was, okay, fine. So I applied, I submitted, and then I waited for a call.
What did you submit?
There was a form on the internet, on the site.
No, I mean, was it a project?
Oh, it was you highlighting some of the work that you've done, and also what you're looking forward to if you're given the experience. Yeah. What would you do if we gave you this experience? So D-Day, there are 4 panelists in the room. The questions are getting tougher the longer the interview's going on. Like, yeah, and they were very kind though. They gave me water. So
they thought maybe you look like you're in trouble.
Yeah, but it was a very transparent process, because you get to hear so many people and get to say, oh, because you know this person, or because you know this person. I do not know why Ugandans, we have started getting the mindset that if there is an opportunity, there are already people for it. Yeah. So people are not going to apply for it, thinking that, oh, there are already people for it.
But that's the mentality, especially the auditions in this country. Yeah. Like, or if you go to the audition line and you see Tina's face, you're like, I'll pass. I'm very sure they'll take Erin or it's okay. But I'm glad that you did and you got through. So you're 4 students from here. So that the criteria was, of course, somebody who, as you said, fairly
fresh in the industry,
not
more than 2 years experience within the film or media industry, someone who has a basic understanding on the film industry. Passion was absolutely the most important element we're looking at. Of course, passion is subjective, but trust me, Flavia, you could just tell from the minute these people started opening their mouths. You could tell who is passionate, who wants to make a difference. And ultimately, what we want is that person. Yes. We want to come up with the next generation of filmmakers. We want that sustenance and continuity of the film industry to continue through these young minds, through these young talents. And we believe that with the continuation of MultiChoice Talent Factory, every year, year in, year out, MultiChoice will say that we have come up with a generation of filmmakers that are going to tell the African story.
So there are some touch points for this Talent Factory that I'd want you to share on. But you spoke about we have to tell the African story. Every time I have someone in film here, I'm telling them, what do you mean tell the African story? Because I liked Don't Come For Me, I liked Black Panther, but really, at some point I felt like, nah.
That's an African cast. It's an African cast.
Oh, come on!
It's different.
Yes. But you see, they were saying that, oh, Black Panther told the African story.
No, it didn't.
No.
No, I feel if it was Shaka Zulu. If we reinvented Shaka Zulu,
but then Shaka Zulu used to scare us, so that was an extreme African story.
But still,
it was authentic. It was extremely authentic, and you could tell. And it was a success. It's not like if you tell a real authentic African story, nobody will buy it.
But I also think that Black Panther had very many layers to it. Yes. It wasn't necessarily an African story. To his point, it had so many layers to it. It talked about struggle. It talked about technology. It talked about women emancipation. There were so many layers to that
we
movie.
Can celebrate.
Exactly. So it wasn't necessary. It was about celebrating. For once, the black person was the hero. We're always in the background, but this time around, because of Black Panther, we were the hero, which is what made the movie such a success.
Yes.
And then back to your question. What is the African story? I think we have so many, Flavia. We have so many stories. We ourselves don't even realize how many stories we have. And I think that's now where the opportunity lies, in finding those stories, in discovering those stories, having the tools, having the resources, having the skills to come up and tell them.
Yesterday there was a guest from Uganda Tourism Board here who was saying that you don't need $1 million to actually invest in tourism in this country. And then he said something like, why don't people tell the African story? And then he went ahead to say, for example, Uganda. Yes. There's so many heroes. There's so many people who've made a big mark in this country. And those stories are never told.
True.
You understand? And said, just imagine if you could find a way to tell those stories. how much money you would bring into the country. And I always see people tweeting, this story should just become a movie. Someone should come make a movie out of it. But Erin, if you had to think about it as a future filmmaker, obviously, who's going to get enough talent on the platform, what would it mean for you to tell our stories? And then what kind of stories would you want to tell?
I think, first of all, there is one thing that I feel there is a challenge when people are not confident in their product. And that is one of the biggest reasons that people have said, oh, we've shared the Ugandan story, but they have not confidently shared the Ugandan story. That if I have a story of Dorcas Nzekuru or Kiprotich, I'm not going to be like, oh man, this is a great story. I don't think I want to share it to the world, because you're the one producing it, you're the one directing it. So you're holding back, thinking, oh, what is Hollywood going to think? What is Nollywood going to think about it? But for me, I would look at, if I'm creating films, the films that I would love to create are stories that are going to get people into that place where they never thought they could be. Like a sort of a mind awakening that this is how society has boxed you. Yes. But this is where you should get out and leave. Like, I love the slogan of Omuntu Wawansi. Yes. But I don't like the fact that Omuntu Wawansi is always going to think of themselves like Omuntu Wawansi. That Omuntu Wawansi Omuntu Wawansi has to get out of there. So it either becomes Omuntu Wawansi Aveyo or something. So we have to look at how we get people from that context of I'm just here to I'm here. And I mean, stories you just made. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she changed her name to, she didn't like her name, and she has another name, so she got a better name. And for me, that story in itself is a girl who didn't like her name, got another name, became something else. That is a story worth sharing, because there's so many people, again, caught up in a place where they do not want to be, but want to be somewhere else. They want to be better. They want to do different.
Okay. So Tina, I was looking at this. So you have the academy, which you just spoke about.
Absolutely.
But you're saying it's the academy in different regions. So we have one in West Africa,
East,
and then
Southern
South.
Africa.
Yes.
Now the academy officially starts in October.
Oh,
so
okay.
he has
very soon.
He has a few days in Uganda, and then
very soon.
He bids goodbye to his family for a year. And of course, it's going to be an intense program, Flavia. Absolutely intense. If I'm not mistaken, these guys are not even going to sleep. I'm kidding.
There's no rest.
Yes, no, but the idea is exposure, skills. The idea at the end of the academy is these students are going to produce a movie. Produce a movie that's going to be good for television.
As a group, or
as a groups, in groups within their 20. And these movies are going to be up in terms of standards. They're going to match the international standards. We want these movies that these kids are going to come up with to win accolades.
Okay.
In all kinds of awards that are out there. We want them to win accolades. We believe they can win accolades. The movies that they're going to produce are then also going to air on DSTV channels, so that people like Flavia can watch and say, oh my goodness, I interviewed this kid.
And look at his product.
Exactly, look at his product when he returned. Simultaneously, it's not only about them training within the academy. We also have what we've set up, master classes for the already established filmmakers. Yes. Because we believe...
Because I heard you saying only the fresh ones were for the academy.
Yes. We believe learning never stops. Even if you're a Matt Bish of this world, there's something you can learn. Yes. You can benchmark. You can, share best practices. So we're going to have master classes set up periodically, focusing on one specific subject matter. For example, we can have a masterclass for script writing. We'll invite a few of the filmmakers within the country. We'll get the best script writer we know, either within the region or the world. They come and they do a masterclass. And those are going to be happening simultaneously as the Aarons are learning for the entire, so that even the established
have something to take out.
To take out of multi-choice.
All right. So that you said it's in different. So is this going to be the Ugandan directors can get that masterclass?
Yes, we can even get Ugandan directors, because they too have the skills, and there's no reason why they can't actually facilitate a masterclass.
Okay, so where would this masterclass be happening?
They'll be happening in country, in Uganda. So there's no need for people to fly,
Very accessible, please. What about the online portal?
The online portal now, what we've done with the online portal is we want to create a communication platform. Where regardless of who you are, where you're at, whether you're a young, fresh, upcoming filmmaker, established, you have a one-stop center to go interact, network, share best practices, collaborate. Because you might find, Flavia, you've had this actress that you've always wanted to meet, to chat to in Ghana, but you don't know how to reach her.
Yeah.
Now, because of this platform that we're going to create starting October when they start, now you'll have that platform to engage, interact. Tell her, look, I'm coming up with a movie or a script. What can we do together? And it creates cross-functional collaboration amongst countries, amongst filmmakers, so that it's not just, you know, closed into just Uganda. You can actually do collaborations with other filmmakers from other countries.
That's fantastic. So I've heard you talk about your director. That's, you know, how you're going. Filmmakers. Yeah. Somebody's watching and saying, I'm an actor, I'm an actress. Does this not apply to me at all?
The masterclass is absolutely.
The masterclass will find a way of applying to you.
Absolutely, because it has come up. People want to, you know, improve on their acting skills. So that's definitely going to come up within the masterclasses. Like I said, it's going to cover everything, all subject matter, producing, script writing, sound, lighting, things that we take for granted.
I know.
You know,
people, the sound guy is not necessary. Try acting for an entire film without no sound.
Exactly.
You'll find that you've just wasted like 2 months of filming with nothing.
Absolutely.
So everyone is important, and they play the key role.
Another aspect which people take for granted is the financial management element, the whole copyright thing.
Yes.
There's also contracts, the legalities. People take all those things for granted. They are also going to learn those things within the master classes as well as in the academy.
Okay, so I mean, I think I like how MultiChoice has done this. Take the filmmakers, because when you take me as an actress, it's just me.
Yes.
You understand? The best I can do is mentor someone who's going to understudy me. That's just one.
Yeah.
But when you take a filmmaker, you've just trickled it down to everyone else. You've given jobs to many people.
Absolutely.
So I like that the Talent Factory has focused on people who can be job creators for others. It's fantastic. So as we're winding up, I mean, from MultiChoice's end, why this was so valuable, what you hope it will sort of create in the future?
For ours, we just want to ignite. We want to ignite the industry, which we believe is the next biggest industry. If the oil industry can thrive, why can't the film industry thrive as well? So we believe that this industry is going to take us very far, not just in terms of job creation, but also in terms of content, producing quality content that people can watch and be proud of. And last but not least, the African story. I'll keep saying that.
Must be told.
It must be told.
And it's not all about borders.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. So, Erin, today is the 20th of September.
Yeah.
Fast forward to next year.
This time.
You will be back around this time. And it will be the end of the training in the academy. You will have been part of a project that we will soon see.
Yes.
Yeah.
What will you be telling us?
About the experience.
Yes, I mean, what are you seeing? What are your projections for this?
When I look at when the opportunity came, I was thinking about having my production house.
Okay.
But before I got into the production house, I wanted a place that could help me harness my skill, become better. So when I look at myself after next year, it's a production house, it's a streaming site, because there is a lot of what I'll call video on demand content, and this is like Netflix or Showmax that people are sharing every day. People are getting digital. So in terms of distribution, I really want to be a key player in a distribution of content. And this is for both film and TV. And you know, people think TV is all about just get a camera, put it in front of you, start talking. But we've seen different TV shows and all the like. So I'm looking at myself being a key player, dominating this particular space in terms of quality production and also streaming content.
There you go. This is evidence. So we'll come back to it.
We'll play it back.
I'm not scared. That's good. So the MultiChoice Talent Factory is happening for a year at the Academy. 20 students.
20 students.
Will be taken. 4 of those are from Uganda.
Exactly.
And actually, Erin Tamal is one of those students. So we're going to learn how to become the best filmmakers they can be in all the different aspects. If you're a director, DOP, and you're thinking, I've been left out, an actress, there'll be masterclasses here in Uganda. MultiChoice is on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just in case you have any further questions. You can find it. Erin, Tina, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
All right. That's it for Morning at NTV. Have a good day.